people doing things that they want to do. They're launching this business, so they want to get t-shirts and they want to have bus backs and they want to do all the fun stuff. And I totally get it, because we're visionaries. We're visionaries. When we're launching a business, it's our baby and we want the world to know about it. It's so natural, yet it's so wrong.
And why?
Are you a professional perfectionist?
What's your plan right now? And is it actually taking you to where you want to go? What if I told you that the difference between a thriving business and a stalled dream isn't talent, luck, or even hard work, but a plan? What's your plan right now? And is it actually taking you to where you want to go? The key to success in business, especially when you're launching something new, is having that plan in place. So many of the people we have worked with over the last few years have struggled in their business in getting the attention that they're looking for because they haven't started with a plan. They've been throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, doing some social media this week and doing some guesting another week, or creating some swag like 1,000 pens to hand out with their logo on it. But there's no plan in place to actually get the level of impact that they need, especially when you're starting out. Because it's that time when you first start, when you launch your business, that you can make the most noise in the market and get the most amount of attention possible, because it's new, it's news. The media are going to be interested in what you're doing. Your friends, your family, your colleagues, your connections, all the people that know you are going to be interested in what you're doing. This is the time where momentum can build super, super fast for you. But if you're just throwing things at the wall, what you're really doing is confusing the market. And there'll be people go, congratulations, great job, you launched a business. And then it's crickets, because you haven't been able to reach as far as you could have. Have you just had the plan in place and had all the elements just organized in a way that work together with great synergy and have incredible impact? That time of launch is so key, because that attention is gold, right? And attention drives sales. So you got to get that attention so that you can then move people through your sales funnel, something we will certainly be talking about again in the near future, but helping people to get through that and then eventually become a customer, a client, a raving fan, a brand ambassador for you. You'll attract all these things. And when you launch with a plan and you execute it, wow, the difference that makes in the marketing. What do you think, Vicki?
The thing that comes to mind when we talk about planning is that the way we do little things in our business is the way we do everything in our business. And everything you've said is so true in what we've seen happen in the marketplace. People doing things that they want to do. They're launching this business, so they want to get t-shirts and they want to have bus backs and they want to do all the fun stuff. And I totally get it, because we're visionaries. We're visionaries. When we're launching a business, it's our baby and we want the world to know about it. It's so natural, yet it's so wrong.
I agree. And there are definitely those people that want all the things. Like they want to like put their, image on a bus back and put their logo on a pen and hand them all out and create the business cards, because everybody thinks you gotta have business cards, and and get the website up and running and all these things, right, that you think you need to have as a brand. And yet you miss that piece of like how it all should come together.
And why?
And why, exactly, and why to do it in a certain way. And what also happens, and we've seen this, is that, maybe you do a little bit of social media and you start to get, things out there, and you've said, oh, I'm launching now, da, da, da. And then the news picks it up. Right? And you get a call from a reporter that goes, oh, I heard you just opened a business. Can we, do an interview? And you're like, yeah, sure. Okay, great. I'll talk about my business. But you've not planned for that. And you don't have your talking points ready. And or maybe you don't have your website launched yet, or you don't have other pieces done. And it's like, you announce something before everything else is ready, and you've done it because you're kind of been pushed into it, because new is always news, right? And reporters are always looking for what's new. So you're going to attract that attention, and they're going to want to do a story on you. But if you're not ready and you haven't like prepared yourself for that media attention, then the impact that's going to have is going to be so limited. We worked with a client who came to us because this is exactly what she did in her business. Like, she had an amazing idea, an incredible business plan. It was good, solid business. And she knew the impact it was going to have. It was years in the making for her. And she launched it, and she had a, article in the newspaper. And a year later, she came to us and was like, nobody knows. And I'm struggling, and, it's not going anywhere, help. I need a rebrand. And, that's what often happens. People think, I just got to start again. I just got to create a new logo and do that. No, we talked her through first strategy, because we always start with strategy. And then once we were clear on that, we started going through the plan with her. Okay, let's plan an actual launch, because you had a launch, but she didn't even realize that she'd had a soft launch. And that was sort of like that little trickle out in the market, that little beta test that you put out there. But then without the rest of the plan in place, it kind of landed a bit flat. So when we talked to her about, okay, well, let's just start and create a launch. Like, don't change your logo. The website needed, we saw some things in the plan that the website needed fixing. And it was like big things, like buttons not working and links not being clear, or the messaging not, being easily understood by her target market. And once we cleared those things up, like magic happened. And then we had a big launch, and we invited the press and all the stakeholders and ministers, and she had this incredible presentation, and it went so incredibly well. She got her name in that market like this fast. And then the business was off and running. But the plan was in place before then. So we had the public launch, the event, the swag, everything was there. Everything had purpose. There was collateral material she could hand out at the event, so everyone left with something. These things are so important. And when everything was in place, the bang was huge, and it changed the trajectory of her business. And that's what we want for everybody, is just to get clear on what that plan is, so that you can have that launch, right? That real launch when your business like accelerates and takes off, and then you can then focus on, okay, what's the next step? But the plan is so key.
Yes. And we're not asking you to not buy swag, and to not have the t-shirts, and to not do all the fun things that marketing represents to us. We're definitely not asking for that. What we're asking for, and really encouraging for, is to have some patience. Yeah, all that great, exciting stuff is going to happen in the right time, in the right moment, in front of the right people. We only get one chance to make a first impression, and it's always the first impression that counts. So, as cliched as it might sound, there's so much truth to those two things. We get one chance to make that first impression. And it's the first impression that people remember, that you'll be known by. So let's make it good. Do it well. Have a little patience. Take the foot off the accelerator on the excitement aspect. Write it all down so you don't lose those amazing ideas. And then bring it together in a plan. And the one other thing I just wanted to, wrap into this is, we're building businesses. We're visionaries. We come up with fabulous ideas. And I'm not talking about you and I, Laura. I'm talking about us as entrepreneurs, right? We're quite often visionary people. And structure, which is what we're talking about with the plan, doesn't always come naturally. So how's this for an idea? Even if you're a one-person band, a solopreneur, is it possible that you can enlist somebody onto your team, even if it's someone from your friend circle or your entrepreneur circle, to be that accountability buddy, to be that person that says, where's the structure? Show me the structure. Just to help you out, to get you to a place where you're not making those rush decisions and massive mistakes. Or of course, just do the course and there's your structure. But it is helpful to have that in your community too, because we love to race ahead, and structure doesn't always come naturally to everybody. It's an architect mindset. If you imagine what an architect is, they love the detail, they love the planning. That's what we're talking about here. That's not everybody's jam, and it's okay. We don't have to be good at everything, but know what you're not good at and fill that gap.
Oh, such a strong, important point you just raised there. I mean, it's the difference between being the CEO and being the COO, right? And often when you're a solo entrepreneur, you've got to be both. So you've got to operate the business and be the visionary for the business. And it's hard because, especially if you're a creative mind and, like you said, that big thinker or the broad stroke kind of person, the detail is the challenge. And they say the devil's in the detail, right? But the details are what is important, because a big part of a plan is the deadlines and the importance of knowing what needs to be done when and in what order. And, that's a big part of the plan. So definitely having a mentor, a coach, or a helper, somebody that can help you to structure that if you're the type of person that isn't a natural planner, and that likes to just get excited and go for it. Definitely get that person in your circle, to be able to be your partner, just to help you get through the stages of this, because it is really important. Because having that plan, and this is the piece that should hit them the most to you entrepreneurs out there, is that a plan helps you to save time, it helps you to save money, and it helps you to save stress. Those are the three things that we need to solve as a problem for other people, but also for yourself, because we need to save those three things. And that is what having a plan. You're not going to waste money on things you don't need or aren't going to work. You're not going to waste time doing things that aren't aligned with what your business needs. And you're not going to waste, anything else. We have to be focused on a good plan that works for your business. Like, it has to be individual. And that's a really key point I want people to know. So getting clear on that for yourself, which is where the strategy really comes in. So if you've not watched the video on strategy, we do talk about that in a previous video. Go back and watch that. And then your next step is going to be preparing the plan. This is the biggest part of what you do in this launching period. And in our course, the Resilient Entrepreneurs Launch Ready course, the most amount of videos and modules is all on this planning part, because there's so many aspects to it, and we want to break it all down for you, between the social media and all the other areas that you might want to, create the marketing and plan for. There's lots of them. There's tons of ideas. Don't get overwhelmed by the ideas. The key is to focus on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that work for you and your business, because it's going to be part of your strategy. And that is where the magic is. And that is where the real impact of launching well comes from, is being so clear on what's going to work and then executing a well-crafted plan. Chef's kiss.